All right, YouTube, we're about to go to all new heights. Yeah, we got the badass one. Yes, we are going to all new heights. There's Dad down there. Sorry about that. I didn't realize I didn't have you guys in focus. We're starting to go up. Now to really go up. We're almost at the end of the chain down there. I bet you it doesn't look that high on camera, huh? Well, just to let you know, those are the treetops right there. And now we're above them. There's Menards. Oh, yep. That's the end of the line there. That's as high as we go. Whoa! Yeah, we're even up above the hotel. As you can tell, look. About 4.5 stories up. Not too bad. Hello and welcome to this adventure. And we're out at Pickaninny Creek. Got me, Dave, and Matt. We're all hanging out. Matt's got his new high banker that I gave him. He's getting it all set up over there. I just got that finally to run. A brand new pump, and it took me like an hour just to get it primed. But we got her up and running. We had some quick idea of disattach his hose, throw it into my foot valve pump some water up in there, but then that told us that on my foot valve, I had the seal on the inside kind of fell into the tube a little bit. So yeah, it wasn't getting a perfect seal. And yeah, some nice day out. We're gonna do a bit of dredging. I'll bring you guys around whenever I get it up and running again. Just getting everything all shaked down, leveled out, perfect, so that way I can sit on the bucket over there and dredge away. We're gonna try to make a big hole today. So yeah, after running just for a little bit, still shaking down, getting all the bugs worked out of it. Had to put another screw in the mat because the mat kept sliding down. So you know, there's little roadside fixes you got to do here and there on the way. But he's enjoying his new high banker I gave him, and Dave's over here working away like Dave does. And yeah, I shaved some skin off my finger, but that's when you know you'll see the better gold. Well, I don't care if I get any gold today. Today is the gold, helping people out and showing people the Ohio gold. So I'll be right back. Let's get some running done. So it's starting to cool off, actually. Getting a little brisk. Not too bad. I got all my stuff piled up on the little islands here and there. But I got the mini dredge still over there. Big dredge is going back out of commission for a little while. We got some more things to work out on that thing to get it to run better. So far, the 1.5's doing a lot better than that did. So we're going to stick with that today. Do one more tank and then get everything picked up and get back to the house. All right, so getting everything packed up into the car. Stayed later than I wanted to today because messing with the 3-inch dredge, getting it running. So I just left everything inside the high banker, or not high banker. Yeah, you can tell how tired I am today. And the dredge sluice, I'm just gonna clean it out when I get home. So I'll see you guys there. All right, as you seen in the YouTube short earlier, I already cleaned it down in here. So let me get this fired up and ready. Let's get to the gold. Be right back. All right, before I get into it here, I want to talk a little bit about the history of the area where I prospect. And it was discovered that there was gold there, and the first guy to document goes by the name of James C. Lee, and he was a veteran prospector in 1849 in California gold rush. And he returned back home after his retirement from the gold rush fields to Butler County, Ohio. Well, the town of Butler, Ohio. And it wasn't until 1853 when he first documented his gold findings, which was on Dead Man's Run Creek, which is a feeder creek that feeds into Clear Fork River, which is also a feeder creek that feeds into the Mohican River. And all of those creeks, and well, both of those creeks and that river were all documented by this man to known to have gold. Large gold flakes, small gold flakes, and a lot of fine gold flour, and the occasional picker. And it was all documented back in them days. And that spiked a mini gold rush back in 1853, all throughout that entire area. And there was all kinds of little mini mine corporations that started, and a couple big corporations that had all started up and failed because it wasn't up to the standards back in them days, because they were looking for a certain amount of gold, which Ohio had an abundance of small, but not enough to where they could actually accumulate what they needed. But with today's gold prices, it's good enough for me. And I just like to collect it anyways. But with the new property that we came across has a guy that wants to actually build a small mining area on his property where we'll build a wash plant and everything like that, because he has a lot of gold on his property, and we're allowed to dig up in his yard and everywhere we want to, because most of his backyard is all high benches. So we'll get into it and have fun all throughout the winter. But yeah, there's a little bit for you guys. Let's get into it and see what we got out of the dredge run today. All right, even though I did get the 3-inch up and running, it didn't run too well. It was running really slow and not sucking up hardly any material. That's why I busted out the 1.5 and then cleaned up behind that log just to get a little tiny bit of gold. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's go ahead and move it out of the glare. There we go. So we got a little bit of fly poop and some chunky. Let's tap it on up there, see if we can make a baby smile out of that. It's an adorable little smile. Yeah,
even though it's not that much, it all adds up. All gold matters, even the little stuff. So, yeah, trying to plan out the next trip. I think I'll be going back to the private property. This was the last bit that we'd get in for this season, and it's time for that area to replenish itself over the winter. Plus, it's deer season out there coming up in the next day or so. I think it's already bow season, yeah. Yeah. So that's all we got time for on this one. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you out there on the next one.